Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to this brand new video tutorial. Today we're going to be learning the basics of Premiere Pro. So we're going to jump straight into the editing program. I'm going to show you how I set up my workspace and why, and then also just some really basic stuff in Premiere Pro. This is basically going to be a very basic tutorial and a very beginner's tutorial. If you would like to check out and know some of the camera settings that you should be using on DSLRs, then make sure to check out this video just up here, and we're going to jump over to the webcam and the editing software, and I will see you in just a moment. What guys, we are back. You will see something that looks a little bit like this when you open up Premiere. Now, I have edited this a little bit, so let me just reset this workspace real fast. So reset the layout. Now, this is the layout you will find when you open Premiere. So, if you ever mess up any of this or anything like this, just go up here to the window, little drop down menu, then go to Workspaces. Then select on this one, we're on editing, so we're on the editing workspace. Then you can go down here and you can reset to saved work layout. So this is by default the work layout, or the one that Premiere ships with. So over here we have our source file. This is basically whenever you import a piece of footage, which I'll show you how to do in just a moment. This is where you'll see it. Then you have your project window over here, which basically will be everything that is in your project and how your project is looking. Now the difference between these two is your source window, so this one over here, will basically be the piece of footage which you have selected in your media bin. Your project window will be whatever your actual overall project looks like. So wherever your playhead is selected on your project, which is the timeline down here. So this is basically going to show you where all your bits of video and all your bits of audio are in correlation to each other, and any effects and any layers that we'll go over in a moment as well. And then we have over here, we have our project media bin. This is where you're going to import all of your footage to, and then you're going to move that into your timeline area and projects. So the first thing which I like to do whenever I start a brand new project, I want to preload into the editing or organize these windows so I can see everything and I know exactly where everything is. Now, personally, I don't like the overall aesthetic of how Premiere ships with, but so I'm going to tweak a couple of things. So the first thing we're going to do is, in most cases, you're not really going to want to see your source and project at the same time. And if you can always move these. So we're going to just left click and drag this window, and you'll get like these kind of boxes here. This is just going to show you where you can move it to. So what we're going to do is we're going to move it all the way over here, so it's in line with our project window. And then we have our source and our project panels just on top of each other, which we can toggle between the side. Some of the time I do move my source window so it is sandwiched just in the middle here, so I can see both at the same time if I need to. But for right now, we're just going to move them over there, and we're going to move. If you ever need to drag a window or the edge of a window, just left click on the frame so you get this little arrow icon, and then you can drag it to be whatever size you would like. And this is going to be your, this now here is your effects control panel area. So whenever you apply an effect to a clip, so whether that's a rotation, transition, position, or warp stabilizer, or anything like that, they will show up here. So we have our project media kind of import here. So we're going to bring this up. Now this is all personal preference. This is just what I like to do. So I like to bring this guy just in here. So there's a little bit here. So we got our effect control panel, and we're going to move that one just into the project panel as well. So we can toggle between these two, like so. Then we have our audio mixer and our media data. Now I don't really do stuff with media data. Some of the time I will move my effect control panel onto this panel here as well. And then we will go from there. So I can actually bring clips into my project and also look at their parameters as well. But for this tutorial, we're just going to move it on top of the project panel as well. So now we have our effects window. This is going to allow you to apply your LUTs, your video transitions, or anything like that are built into Premiere. And you can also, this is where you will also be getting any of your custom ones. So I like to move this one just up here, so it's not in the way there, like so. And you can also do the same. Sometimes I have my project window also in here. Let me just move that here, and there we go, like so. And then we can just reshape these to our liking. So this is looking a lot nicer. Now I like to see my history, but I don't need to see it that much. So we're gonna just drag it so it's a little bar here. And these are just our default tools. So I like seeing as much of my timeline as possible. So we want to push these tools so they're in one line. There we go. So now we got everything ready. Now if the aspect ratio looks a little bit weird on the video, that's simply because I'm using a 21:9 aspect ratio monitor that I'll link in the comments or the description down below, should I say. And yeah, so we're now going to import some footage that we're going to start editing. So the first thing which you want to do when you go to edit something is you need to know what you've shot. So I like to organize all my footage. So I use 2 cameras for most of my shoots. So I'm going to create 2 bins. So you right click in this little project area and you're going to create a new bin, and then you're going to call it, I just personally call mine whatever the camera was. So for example, what is being recorded on this camera just up here is the D5600 or the 5600 Nikon. So that's going to be up there. So any footage that I bring in from that camera will be in this folder just here. And then in this video, for example, I have webcam video as well. So webcam. So we would add a little subfolder for webcams. And then we would add another camera if I was using my other camera, which is my D5100. And we would then import that there, and then if we have any spare audio and such like that, just to keep it nice and organized in what we are going to be doing. So to import footage, once you've done this and you know what footage you want to import, we're going to right click on the bin you want to import it into. You're then going to go down here to import. You're going to click, and then you're going to navigate into your directory wherever you dumped your footage. So I'll give you an example. This is how my file layout looks at this moment in time. And so, for example, as you can see here, when I dump any of my footage off my memory cards, I do the same thing in my folders that I do in my edits. So if I was going to go, say, we'll go for the last vlog. Okay, so this is the date that the footage was recorded on, and then the camera which it was used, and then the number of memory cards, because in this vlog I used two memory cards. So we're going to go to camera 1, and then we can bring it. This is all the footage, this is all the raw stuff from the camera, and we can just shift click to bring a load of the footage in. You just click open, and then it will import it. So when your footage has been imported, you can just double click on your footage to open it into the source window, and then you can start scrubbing through and listening to it. Now I just need to make sure that I have my earphones on to actually hear this audio. So grab a pair of earphones. I would recommend using a pair of earphones over using anything else, only because, like speakers, only because you can get better noise isolation to what's around you, and the audio is normally going to be better. So I'm ready to go up to London, but I was going to do this on the way out and on the way up as I walk to the train station. But so just while I talk about this footage real fast, this little bar here is your audio peak window. Now what you'll see when I play this is, as you can see, basically going to be, it's going to have a bar that's going to rise up to the amount of decibels so that
I'm going to try and put some B-roll.
This footage is actually playing at, so the audio is, right? Now, a common practice that I find is try to keep this audio, so say you use it for a target number, right? So say my target number in this case is -12, because that is where my peaks, or maybe something a little bit above, so between around -6 and around -12 is where we want to be. So all other footage that we're going to do, we're going to try and make sure the audio is sort of matched to between -6 and -12. Now, you may be wondering, how do I start editing this footage? What you want to do is you want to grab this piece of footage like this, just left click on it so you can drag it around. I'm going to bring it down onto the timeline like so. And that will make you a brand new sequence that you can now see. We're in the project panel over here. Now, I'll just quickly show you. So if I want to cut this down, you can now start scrubbing through the footage. So the difference is, say I drag another piece of footage in to the next clip, which is a start of the time lapse. Those of you who want to actually see this video in the final edit form, then make sure to check out this video just up here. So as you can see here, so if I play this, this will carry on playing into the next clip.
Probably
here. There we are, as you can see. And the difference between this and that is, this is going to be, if I play this, it's just going to end when we get to the end of that clip. As you can see, it stops. So that is really gonna wrap up this very, very beginner guide or tutorial on Adobe Premiere Pro. And I hope you guys enjoy it, and I hope you guys enjoyed the multiple cameras and such that I'm going to be using for this video. And we'll switch back over to this camera because that's where we ended it on, and that's where we started. So we'll start where we finished. But as I said at the very start of this video, if you would like to see the best settings to use, then make sure to click this video just up here. And I would like to see you guys next time, so make sure to be subscribed. We're going to be doing more editing tutorials, and I'm going to be going over some of the thought processes of how I make some of my videos and such like that. So I hope you guys do enjoy. If you did, then make sure to leave a like, and if you're new to the channel, make sure to be subscribed, and I'll see you guys next time. Farewell.